This is the Viral on Westman Studios. My name is Christina Villa. On this episode, we are focusing much attention on Real Madrid. I think there's a problem with that club. Listen, big club in the world, big club in Spain. I say right now, it's more of a talk shop than a workshop. But the guys are here. They will digest the matter. I've got Cephas here. I've got Kabna here. Charlie, guys, what's up?
Yeah, Charlie.
You know,
Everything fine.
Everything
cool, everything cool.
But if everything fine plus you guys, I know she'll say Madrid, everything fine plus them.
Everything
Cephas,
fine.
it's like the club is in crisis.
Yeah.
Cephas, what's happening at Madrid?
Is it not funny how for a club that won the Champions League,
Just
the
last
league
season.
last season, we are here talking about crisis. It tells you how when the stakes are high, then the stakes are well and truly high. And for a club like Real Madrid, you know, laurels, they don't joke with it.
No.
So, yes, you look at the Real Madrid team this season, you want to juxtapose it to the team last season. Yes, they lost a few players here and there, most notably to Toni Kroos.
Yeah.
And someone will say that, yes, that was one signing they failed to replace. And yes, it's true. Look, we can talk about their brilliance, especially on the offensive, when they managed to bring in Kylian Mbappe. That front three, you know, supported by...
Everybody thought that like Madrid were going to be the Avengers. But they are
Exactly.
not Mbappe.
For one, I wasn't too bothered about Toni Kroos leaving. The reason was that if you watch Madrid in the Super Cup game, the UEFA Super Cup game, when Mbappe scored his first goal for Real Madrid, this Madrid team this season, they didn't need to hold on to possession so much. What they had in attack was pace, goals, and flair in attack. And so all they needed to do, soak pressure, then release the front three. But unfortunately, the front three are not helping the rest of the team. They are not complementing the team. They are not pressing enough for the team. And a typical example was the game last night
Against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final.
If you watch the first half critically, Vinicius was supposed to play up front with Rodrigo. But because Madrid were also careful on the right-hand side, because Lucas Vazquez was playing as right back, Rodrigo was more often drifting to support Lucas Vazquez.
Doing more defensive work than offensive
So
work.
Vinny was virtually left on an
Isolated.
Exactly. So, and we've seen that so many times with Real Madrid this season. They fail to press effectively from the front. And that has ultimately been the team's undoing. Yes, again, you can look at the January transfer window where they failed to address certain key areas in the team, like the fullback positions that they failed to address.
Yeah.
Injuries have also not been kind to Real Madrid this season. But by and large, it's something that they knew. I think they knew was going to happen. So it's a season they would have to forget.
It looks like it's a complex mixture of so many other things that's causing Madrid to, to wallow in this mediocrity this season. Kwabena, let me start with you. We've had a lot of people talk about Carlo Ancelotti, his tactics is archaic, he should leave, and all that. When you look at Madrid's problem this season, Kwabena, do you think it's more of a personal problem, a coaching problem, or is it a mixture of the two?
I'll put 40% of the blame on the board, then 60 on Carlo. 40 on the board because this is a team that you saw that last season, Toni Kroos, who played so well, is leaving a team.
Yeah.
The most underrated player in Real Madrid last season, or who has ever been in Real Madrid for the past 10 years, Nacho. He also left because Nacho was a player that he could have played as a left back. He can even play as a center back to help. But this is a case that this season we've seen the likes of Tchouaméni playing as a center back. The likes of Valverde playing as a fullback.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even make those two players who are so good offensively and defensively to even work very well. Because when Valverde is playing as a right back, it limits him from moving forward, which we know Valverde is a player that is so good when he moves forward.
Exactly.
Those tender bolts.
Yeah.
He scored that goal against Bilbao. And we saw it because when he gets those chances, he will score you. Yeah. He has been doing that in Uruguay. The same thing for Real Madrid. So it limits them. So the board should have added more players to the squad. I know they wanted to buy Lenny Euro.
Yeah.
But at least there were players that they could have just bought to just help the team. Because the right back position like this, Vasquez is growing. So they should have had a player that will help them.
Especially, I mean, not because, but especially when you knew that Cavada was going to miss almost the entirety of the
That-
season
That
because
is
he
it.
was injured.
That is it. So you should have had someone who just help Vasquez. When it comes to the left back, they are like, oh, Mendy is not really good. So you should have had someone who would just help him. There will be a bit of competition over there. The centre back, I can always tell you that Rudiger has been playing with injury.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rudiger has been playing with injury for
Yeah.
quite, should
For
I say,
some
like
time
for
now.
some time now,
Yeah.
but he still plays because there's no one
There's no
over there.
cover.
There's no cover. So I will always put the blame on the players. The reason why on the board,
yeah.
the reason why I also blame Carlo because Carlo, you have a system that you want to play. Fine. Just talk to your players about it. But he needs to be bold. He needs to tell players, hey, do this. Hey, don't do this. If you don't play well, I'll bench you. If you do this, you are the manager. You are not just, he wasn't a head coach. He was the manager.
So you think Carlo is babysitting the players?
No. I felt like he had some of his players, he can't really talk about them.
And who are these players?
The likes of Vinicius, the likes of Mbappe, they can play a football match. Vinicius, Mbappe, they don't even track back. They just be standing there, just moving around.
Yeah.
And when they lose the ball, they just
They just be walking around.
Yeah.
But so that makes Bellingham runs a lot and he gets tired so easily.
Yeah.
Miami who face it down.
Because let me tell you, in the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona,
Yeah.
he played so well. He played so well against Barcelona. But the only thing was that he was the only one playing everything. And no one was helping him track back.
Yeah.
The players who are supposed to help him are rather just moving. When they miss a chance, they'll just throw their hands. Someone will say, fuck, so sorry for using that word. Someone will also say whatever they have to say. But like, they were
Yeah.
you don't see any. So you should have just spoke to them and told them that, hey, this is
the
my
coach,
team.
I'm an
So
authority.
if you are
These are
not
the
playing well,
rules I
I'll
want you
bench
to-
you.
yeah.
Just track back. Just do this. But he wasn't just. And Carlo is so static. I remember the day we did a review of the Arsenal Madrid game. We said that Carlo is so static because when he tells you 4-4-2, there's no changes. He doesn't want to move. So sometimes it is the brilliance of the players that makes them even move. If you've noticed very well, he always likes to play Bellingham on the left-hand side
of the midfield.
of the midfield.
Yeah.
But Bellingham, because of how intelligent that player is, he mostly moves to the middle, tries to just
Make
get
things
involved,
happen,
just
like,
makes things
yeah.
happen when it's so difficult. So with Carlo, he really needs to learn a lot. But so it's not like he's a good coach. No.
Carlo, yeah, no.
No, sorry. Carlo is a good coach.
Yeah,
But I feel like he should just take some leave. The Brazil job he wants to even go and take now, it's too early. He should just sit back, wait for 1 year, 2 years, then just go for that job.
Okay, come now. Senior Cephas, there are calls that Carlos should just leave. Like Kwabena says, some people say that when he even leave, he should just go and take some sabbatical, just refresh his brain, just recharge, and maybe then think of his next move. Do you believe that his time is up at Real Madrid? And then if his time is up at Real Madrid and he's leaving, should he take the Brazil job or he should just go on the sabbatical, as people are saying?
I believe the time has come for him to have some respite. Look, Carlo has not been, new to this game. We've known Carlo from his days at AC Milan, right through to Real Madrid, Chelsea, all
PSG.
that. He's been one coach who has favored or has loved the 4-3-3 system.
Yeah.
But then he likes to vary it. And key amongst that is the one who plays as the number 10 in that midfield three.
Okay.
And we see that in his days as AC Milan when Kaká came in and he was playing that role. We saw that at Chelsea and all that. Is the reason why he wanted to set up this Madrid team in that fashion.
Yeah.
Most of these coaches that have been there for a while now, sometimes what they fail to realize is the game has
evolving.
evolved.
Yeah.
So they also, in as much as it has evolved, also try to adapt. But sometimes they are a bit stubborn. And yes, I don't begrudge you. If you get results from your plan A and you are very certain that plan A will give you results, then you have to make it work. However, if there is that need to vary it a bit to suit the modern game, then you equally have to do same.
That's true.
But that is what most of these old coaches are failing to do. We are seeing the likes of Jose Mourinho struggling now because he's failing to adapt his old system a bit. And Carlo clearly is also facing the same challenge. For me, like you rightly put it, the time has come actually for him to leave Real Madrid. For me, I feel when he leaves, he should take some sabbatical, take a year off, try to recuperate, try to get a few brains in there, try to, look at the tactics here and there. Then when he comes back, probably he would have adapted a bit more, and then we see how best he will bounce back. As far as his brains are concerned, we can't doubt Carlo. Carlo has been one of the best for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, one of the greatest ever.
Jose Mourinho for me is my greatest of all time, followed by Carlo. It's another topic for a different day.
Oh, Pep Guardiola just said.
Oh no, I'm not saying Pep Guardiola is not a good coach.
Yeah, but
there's a reason why I'm saying that.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. It's a topic for
another day.
Sure. So take a sabbatical and bounce back better.
Now, where does Madrid go from here? Now it looks like they are out of the UCL, Copa del Rey, Yamutu. Right now, you don't know. I mean, the La Liga is also looking like they may lose it. Where do they go from here next season?
Oh, it's not too late. Madrid is a team that is a big club. So if they don't win any trophy this year or this season, I'm sure they'll be paying. But they just need to sit down, get a good coach. And news coming in is very likely that
Xabi Alonso
will go to will be coaching Real Madrid soon. So if Xabi Alonso goes there like this, let's take he goes there, they should just sit down with the board, know the kind of players that they want, the kind of system that they have to play, sit the players down, know the kind of system that will help the players. You also want to know the views of the players. Oh, what system will be also best for you? Maybe let's take it as a player. Are you better playing on your left-hand side, playing better on the right, or playing as a number 9? It's just sitting down because with Madrid, it's a very big club that if they want to make changes and buy good players, and they do buy good players, you see next season, Madrid will be competing for the Champions League, the La Liga, and so they're a team that mostly, they don't go down like for too long.
Yeah,
they'll go down for maybe 1-2 years, a season or two. Then you see they bounce back, and when they bounce back to fire, like that's when you see them winning about 2 trophies on a row, winning 3 trophies on a row. So with Madrid, I don't feel bad for them, but just that they just need to get a good replacement who is going to sit down with the players and the board and know the kind of players. But this now you are going to play the Club World Cup. So if they want to do any changes, they have to do it now. Because I know Madrid will want to be the first club to win the club, the new format of the Club World Cup. They always want to be the leaders in everything. Yeah. So this is a format that they have to get their new coach early, get their chance, because other teams in the Club World Cup have already started doing their transfers. They've already started the players that they want to buy. So if Madrid wants to also do on the Club World Cup, they should just start doing their transfers now and get their coach going, just going.
Sebas, where do Madrid go from here? Of course, people have spoken about their squad, makeup and all that. If you are Florentino Perez and you have to make decisions for the Madrid in the squad now, in the current makeup of your squad, who are some of the players that you think they should go, and where are some of the areas that you think Madrid should replace?
So for left back, for instance, Ferland Mendy, clearly he's not been fit. He's in this week. Then he goes out for a month or two.
So they should get a replacement there.
Absolutely, because it looks like the club doesn't also trust Fran Garcia.
Yeah,
I think he's decent, but probably
he's not a Real Madrid standard player.
Yeah, he's still learning.
And it's the reason why Ancelotti even chose to start a half-fit Ferland Mendy yesterday ahead of Garcia. So that's one key area they need to address. The right back position to Lucas Vazquez, look, it's not working. Yeah. It's not working. Yes, he's a club legend if you want to use that word, but I don't think that position really suits him. Real Madrid, anytime they put him in that position, they look very vulnerable. So the right back position is another position they need to look at. Then in center defense as well. Yes, Antonio Rudiger is always there.
They've had Raul
Asensio, who has been
this Brazilian guy to also come from injury.
Militao.
Yeah. So Militao may come back at the beginning of next season, but they still need to augment the center back position because Raul Asensio is relatively young and he's still learning the trade. You can see that in some tackles he's been going in for, notably the
push on Kubasi.
Exactly, the push on Kubasi and all that. Then in midfield, that is where it's been key for Real Madrid. Tchouaméni has deputized brilliantly in the absence of Toni Kroos. But then Real Madrid is lacking a bit of quality in midfield.
That's true.
If they need a player who can dictate the pace of the game.
A direct replacement for Toni Kroos.
Absolutely. They need that. They need that in midfield. Then you look at the markets now. Which player do you think Real Madrid should go for? There are a lot of players, key players in this position.
Yeah.
Look, if you turn your attention to maybe a player like Bruno Guimaraes in Newcastle.
Excellent.
I love it when scouts look out for some of these players, not the high-profile names, but players who have the technical ability.
And for him, sorry for cutting, for him, he can play Real Madrid. He's
Absolutely.
a very good player, very good one.
I don't like it when it's always the top clubs.
Yeah.
Look at the scout. That's where the clubs need to spend a lot of time with the scout. The scouts need to scout. That is their work.
Yeah.
Go in, look out for players who are relatively unknown, but then they have the profile.
Okay.
They have the mentality. And Bruno he can play Real Madrid. Look,
Well,
his technical ability is not in question on any doubt.
Anyway.
No, but one last one.
Yeah.
About Carlo. So with Carlo like this, I just felt like he also did selective judgments. One, there were players that he was supposed to be bringing in and playing them more. He wasn't doing that. Yesterday, when Adagula came in,
Yeah.
he played so well.
Yes. Yeah.
Adagula also against Getafe.
He played
He was the one who scored the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played so well,
Yeah.
but he wasn't using him. So you
Yeah.
ask yourself, Carlo, what was wrong?
Carlo, you ask yourself, what was wrong? If you're a Real Madrid fan, I want you to answer this question for us in the comment section. Just comment, let us know your thoughts on your club. Is it in crisis? Is it in shambles? Where do you go from here? Let us know in the comment section. And then share this video, subscribe more importantly. My name is Christina Nabila, and then we are out.